I got to tell you the story of how we met Alex. Alex actually came off a website called, I think it was Bigger Pockets. So there's a huge website out there that's called Bigger Pockets, and it's really like it's a networking website. It's a website for people to kind of congregate.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on this website and, fumbling around doing something. And then one of our staff members was on the same website answering some questions, and somehow they linked. And I don't know why, because I don't remember what happened to me yesterday, but I still remember the first time I talked to Alex. I was in my car and the staff member was with me, and they're like, hey, I just talked to this cool young kid, 21 years old, doesn't know anything about real estate, excited about possibly partnering. Do you mind talking to him? And so I was in my car, so I just boom, 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 dialed his number, and I talked to him. And Alex had a kind of one of the things I see in this business so many times is people, they literally disqualify themselves from this business. Like before it even started, they disqualify. And they disqualify themselves based upon crazy things. Like, I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too woman, I'm too man, I'm too white, I'm too black, I'm too poor, I'm too smart, I'm too dumb. And I mean, it's amazing how many people want to get in this business, and literally before they get started, they've already made a decision why they cannot be successful. And these are all crazy reasons, because I promise you, if there was that epitome of a perfect investor, Julie and I would just find him. He's 6 foot tall, he's this, and he lives in this part, and blah, blah, blah. We would just find those people, and we'd say, hey, we want to do deals with you. Guys, there is no perfect scenario for being a real estate investor. And Alex is a great example of that. And believe me, I don't know if he's listening in today or not, so I'm sure he would not disagree with anything that I'm about to tell you. But Alex, when he started with us, 21 years old, so you can't really say you got to have experience, because not too many 21-year-olds have experience in anything in life, other than maybe some bad things. So 21 years old, he was a bank teller. People sometimes say, oh gosh, Pete, I don't have a degree, or I don't have the right education. Well, 21-year-old kid working at a bank, I don't think he had too much college, if any college. So literally the one, 21 years old. I mean, how many of us know 21-year-old people that take anything in life seriously? I mean, I think the only thing I took seriously when I was 21 is how to not get caught from whatever the heck I was involved in. 21-year-old kid, no experience, randomly finds us. I still remember this. He made $1,500 a month. It's amazing how many times people qualify themselves out of this business based upon their income level, right? Well, remember, today we're talking about partnerships. And in partnerships, especially in our types of partnership, we take all excuses away. Doesn't matter if you make $1,500 a month with us, or if you're a partner and you come in, you make $150,000 a month, because you're using our money. So a 21-year-old kid, not really educated, working at a bank as a teller, lived, I think, with his girlfriend. I don't think he even had his own place to live back then. But what Alex was hungry. Alex was hungry. He knew that he wanted better than he had. He was willing to do whatever he had to do. And I remember literally right in that car when I called him that day and we just chatted for a couple minutes, he's like, I'm all in. I'm all in. You just tell me what to do, and I'm going to do it. And then we started working with Alex, and I don't even remember if I can't remember, Julie, how long it took him to find this first deal.
It was only 3 months, really. And to be, fresh and never been in real estate before, I mean, that's pretty good.
Brand new investor, brand new to the business, couple months into it. I don't know, was this a driving for dollars deal, or was this a cold call he made? I have no idea how he found this deal.
So this was a cold call from a liens list, the list that we provide.
So tell people a little bit about that. What is that? What is a liens list, and what is the cold call to a liens list?
So one thing that we do is that number one is we provide leads to our partners, such as pre-foreclosures, people with liens on their property. A lien is anything that is associated with the property, like a federal tax lien, state tax liens, nuisance, HOAs, even something like a mechanic's lien. Now, I do not want you to confuse this with like buying tax liens. This is before someone is going to lose their property to one of these scenarios, okay? So it's more like a motivated seller's list. The cool thing is with our program, and you didn't mention this, Peter, but it's like the coolest thing about our program is every day, Monday through Friday, we do live training calls with all of our partners, right? 2 times a day. That way we can go over different strategies and methods, such as calling your liens list, understanding that. That's something that we train on. Actually, I happen to have done that today. That's what we do on Tuesdays, is we learn how to call pre-foreclosures and liens. So with him joining the program, he was able to get this list from us. He learned how to call them, set the appointment with the seller, got it under contract, and we bought it, as you could see, for $75,500.
Yep, and one of the things that we teach our partners how to do is how to go through the correct due diligence. And I remember I actually went down to see Alex. I remember I drove from our office to Panama City, and we met our agent, who actually became our agent as long as we were doing deals in that area. I can't remember what his name was, but he turned out to be a really cool guy. I kind of met him. I think he became sure once I was there, but like when he was working with Alex, he's like 21-year-old kid buying this property. How's he going to get the money? And Alex was telling him about us, and I don't think he really believed it. And then I met him, and we had a great time. We hung out like for half a day. He drove me around, showed me some areas there. And that's another important thing that we do with our partners, is that when we're involved in a deal, we're involved all the way through the process, okay? So it's not like Alex got this deal for 75 and we're like, okay, we're going to just do it because we're going to do it. No, there's actual steps and process that we take every single deal to. We don't deviate from that process. We don't just like say, well, listen, you're a smart dude, so you're going to, no. Every single deal goes through a very tight-knit process. Now, what does that mean to our partner? It means our partners are learning. They're earning and they're learning along the way. See, it's one thing for us to take Alex and say, well, to find a deal, you need to get 3, agents. You need to get 2, blah, blah, blah. And then Alex is going to go out there and he's going to stumble all over himself. How do I know that? Because that's what I did. When I started this business, I went to a couple seminars. They told me what to do. Mm-hmm. I went and I executed absolutely in the most screwed up possible way, and I screwed it all up, and I lost a lot of money. But the cool thing about working with our partners is that we're literally doing this on real life deals. Okay. We're executing this thing on our real life deals. And as long as our partners are following what we tell them, then they themselves, as the process goes, become very, very savvy. They could become very sophisticated. They become investors themselves. So we bought this properties for $75,500. I will tell you, there's a wrong number in here, and I guess I just happen to remember this, because although the rehab amount initially may have been $18,000, we actually ended up going over by quite a bit on this. I can't remember, like maybe $10,000, $15,000 or something like that, because there were some things that were not caught, and I'll tell you exactly what happened in this deal. One of the things we always do in our deals is we do inspections. We send real life inspectors. Like if I'm going to spend my $75,000 across the country, I'm going to make sure this is going to be an airtight deal. And so what we do is we have inspectors go in there, real life inspectors who inspect properties for a living. And that inspection report was done, but I remember there was a little break in the chain of command on this one. And somehow that inspection report did not get to the right person. And something happened in the closing. For some reason, the seller had to sell quicker than we had anticipated, on and on and on. And all of a sudden we're doing this deal, and all of a sudden the right person looked at the inspection report and they're like, hey, there's a couple of things that were missing. And all this to say that, every once in a while we even make an error here. we can't blame this one on Alex. He was a 21-year-old kid. He was doing what we told him. And so literally that budget went from 18 to like in the 30s. Okay. Can't remember what 30 amount, but it was that. And another very important part in our partnering program, I didn't go to Alex. I didn't call him on the phone and say, Alex, listen, we missed like $10,000 of rehab. So I'm going to need you to like divvy up half of it or the whole amount since you're the local guy. No, instead of funding ultimately 18 in rehab from our end, I ended up funding 30 some on rehab. And that's just part of another benefit of being our partner is that you realize all the upside, meaning you realize the profit. Mm-hmm. With a partner, we negate the total downside. So when the budget went over, we collectively from our end ate it. So we basically did the deal, ended up fixing the property. I don't know if you remember anything specifically about what happened during the deal, Julie. I just kind of remember those kind of highlights.
No, I mean, I think it went pretty well by the time we got it fixed. I mean, we sold it in like 2 weeks.
Yep, it was a great
agent. The house looked great. It was like a little 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,800 square foot down there in Panama City. Clean, clear deal.
You're right. It went on the market very quick. We ended up, and another challenge we had on this deal is that I remember now we ended up going through 2, maybe even 3 contractors. First contractor just like was over his head. Second contractor had to take off, and the third contractor, ended up executing the deal. Mm-hmm. So another benefit of working with us. Well, guess what? How does Alex, a 21 kid, handle a contractor disappearing on him? He doesn't. What a 21-year-old kid does when a contractor disappears on him is he like takes a spiral, which is what I did 20 years ago. On my first number of deals, my contractors like screwed me from every way possible. So what did I do? I didn't know how to react. We knew how to react. We knew how to take control. We knew how to insert other potential contractors into the deal. We executed the deal. The agent that I met there when we got started ended up selling the deal. Julie's correct. It sold pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. And we made money. And so that's that deal.